parts of Jackson County, just to be on the safe side, make sure that you're staying in your shelter until the storm has passed. Again, down here right along the Jackson-DeKalb County line, it's not much, but a little bit. And sometimes that's all we see on radar, just a little bit right there. Right there, a little bit of circulation. This would be small and weak and short-lived, but possible. Just east of Crossroad. I'm going to zoom in a little tighter. I'm not sure what the lay of the land is here. Right offhand, okay, we got. What was that? Okay, so we are back streaming. Okay, let's see what shows up here. Okay, so this is going to be fairly rural, but County Road 606, looks like County Road 44, this is Jackson County. So Jackson County Road 606, Jackson County Road 44. This is where this rotation is showing up. And it's very subtle, but it's there. And we'll zoom out the view just a little bit. So a little southeast of Langston near Davistown. Again, tracking towards Rock City. And again, this would be headed towards Powell. And as I pan the view here, zoom out just a little bit. Eventually, again, towards Sylvania and towards Henniger. Again, the rotation that we're seeing a little east of Crossroad, that's kind of where I'm pinpointing it, just a little near and south of Davistown, excuse me. And again, basically going to be hugging Jackson County, DeKalb County, right along the county line. There you saw the latest update. Again, very subtle signature, but it's there. And at the very least, there's going to be some strong wind. We're kind of seeing that. The way this is kind of bowed out here. Also some strong wind potential, perhaps upwards of 50, 60 miles per hour. Let's get you back here. Again, we have our other tornado warning. It's out of Marshall County now. It's in southwest DeKalb County. Still, again, a subtle signature, but showing up here in the vicinity of Crossville and moving its way off to the north and to the east. Geraldine, it's going to stay a little south of you. Crossville, still want you in your shelter as this moves its way off to the northeast, basically southern parts of DeKalb County. So let me kind of circle the really just two areas here in the vicinity of DeKalb County. So we've got the one, again, near Crossville, and then we got the other. This one looks a little bit more, I don't want to say ominous, but it's a little bit more defined. But again, here east of Boaz. So if you were in Boaz, if you were in Albertville, you sought shelter, you're good to go. This has now passed. It is now in DeKalb County. But if you're over here towards Crossville, over here towards Collinsville, I need you in your tornado safe place. And again, if you're in the vicinity of the Jackson-DeKalb County line, here just outside of Langston, but headed towards Henniger, need you in your safe place. Another area of rotation. Again, it's subtle, but it's there. In the south, southwestern corner of Jackson County, I need you in your tornado safe place, just to be on the safe side. Again, these are not going to be high-end, long-track type of spin-ups. They're basically going to be just that. They're going to be a brief spin-up, may do a little damage, but you certainly don't want to be caught without going to shelter in these sort of situations. Northern parts of Jackson County, again, still maybe here a little near Stevenson, southwest of Long Island, right along 72, getting ready to head into southern Tennessee there, crossing the state line. Still, again, subtle, still there. So we got three areas of possible rotation in the northeast corner of the state. Let me see what we have here, checking the storm reports. Measured wind gust. This is southwest to Albertville, 52 miles per hour. Tornado warning has been extended there for northeast Jackson County. So again, what I was mentioning there near Stevenson, west of Long Island, that tornado warning has been extended. Located near Stevenson or Bridgeport, moving east at 45. So that northeast corner of Jackson County, where we were still seeing just a little bit of a rotation, Weather Service has extended that warning there. Let me see the other one. DeKalb County warning has been extended, it looks like, for the circulation near Crossville. Apparently some damage in the Mount Hebron area in southern Marshall County. Let me see if I can find that. And seeing some damage reports out of Rogersville. Okay. In downtown Tuscumbia, folks are being asked to stay away from downtown Tuscumbia due to storm damage there from earlier. So getting that report. I got a report of some wind damage a little northeast of Huntsville. And that is it. That's come on in. Okay, so, right, here's from Tuscumbia. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, just nothing specific. Tuscumbia, east side of town, 3 large trees down with live wires and road blockage on Davis Court. So again, that's going to be near the downtown area of Tuscumbia. Some trees down there and some power lines down. That's the main reason why they want people to stay away, is the power lines being down. Again, that is in Tuscumbia. So again, primarily getting reports kind of concentrated out there toward the shoals from earlier. All right. Let me run down all the warnings. Again, we've had some extensions of our warnings. So we still have 3 tornado warnings. Again, all along this line. Possibly a couple areas where there could be a brief spin up. Otherwise, and I will say the line's looking a little bit stronger. Part of that could have been when it moved over the radar site. That kind of causes the radar to lose a little bit of its ability to see. So the fact that the heavier showers and heavier storms have moved out of northwest Jackson County may be one of the reasons why the radar is starting to look a little bit healthier here. But again, we're watching 3 areas of rotation. One, northeastern Jackson County. We got another one right along the Jackson-DeKalb County line. And we've got a third one in southwest Jackson County. So multiple tornado warnings do continue for these areas as the storms move on through. And again, we're getting close to this being over with. Severe thunderstorm warning you see issued there for northwest Georgia. That's where these storms are headed next. Once these clear DeKalb County, it's going to be, we're going to be compiling the reports and trying to get out to some of these areas where we're getting reports of damage. But we will be done with the threat of severe weather. So let me jump in here and again kind of pinpoint the areas of rotation. Not really seeing a real strong signature here, but in the vicinity of Long Island, northeast of Stevenson. This is going to be about headed into southern Tennessee and out of our coverage area shortly. So not real concerned about this. This is moving out. We still have a couple other areas, though, that are going to be with us for probably another 30 minutes. Again, one of those is going to be along the Jackson-DeKalb County line. Again, it's a subtle signature here. Some rotation showing up near Rock City, Powell. Again, Sylvania to Henniger, once you headed to your shelter, just to be on the safe side. This is one view looking at the wind velocity. Greens are blowing toward the radar, reds are blowing away. And when I pull up the regular radar depictions showing the rainfall, you're going to kind of see what we're looking at here on the radar pattern. One of the things of note here around Powell, the way it kind of bows out, that's an indication of strong wind. So some strong wind coming in here, perhaps from Rainsville, heading towards Sylvania and Henniger. And on the northern edge of where you get this bowing, where you get this strong wind, on the northern edge, because of that bow, you can create a little area of circulation. And again, we're picking that up with the radar data, looking at the wind velocity near Powell. So some strong wind, maybe a brief tornado developing here. So let me track this out. Again, this has been tracking towards the Henniger area, towards Sylvania. So I still need you in your shelter in these parts. Now mostly into DeKalb County. This has been kind of hugging the Jackson-DeKalb County line, and now it's starting to work its way more into the DeKalb County part of the warning. Let's track this out. This is the latest. Sylvania, again, coming in the next couple of minutes. If you're in Henniger, around 140 is when this is going to be moving on in. And then farther off to the north and to the east, the Townsend Crossroads area around 145, same around Biddle Crossroads around 144. So basically northern portions of DeKalb County is where we are seeing this. Again, couple things. Could be some strong wind, 50, 60 miles per hour, most likely would be kind of the high end that we would see out of this. And in addition, right close to Powell, that's where we're seeing a little bit of rotation where there could be a brief tornado that could spin up and touch down. That's the latest update. Let me clear all this off. And we're still seeing that here again in the vicinity of Sylvania, again tracking towards Henniger, so I need you in your shelter in these areas. So we've got the latest update. Let's kind of, okay, doesn't look like we got an update on the velocity yet. But let's take you on into southern DeKalb County, where we have our last tornado warning. And this is going to be in the vicinity now, coming towards Collinsville. It's past you in Crossville, coming towards you in Collinsville. And again, that warning does continue here for much of southern parts of DeKalb County. Let me take a couple looks here. Wind velocity-wise, don't see a real strong signature. But let me check a different radar. I'll check a couple of them. It's a radar out of Birmingham, which when you get into this corner of northeast Alabama, you can kind of look at a couple of the Weather Service radars. Getting close to Collinsville, Portersville, approaching that area. Check of the wind velocity, nothing that really shows up here. And then lastly, and it may be a little out of range, or maybe not. This is our Guntersville live radar. What we're seeing, again, that kind of pick it out here, a little bit of a bowing taking place here near Collinsville. So again, some strong wind. I think that's pretty well a given. Question is, will something spin up tornado-wise? And if something does, probably a little northwest here at Collinsville. Again, this is one of our 3 live radars. Okay, let's be looking at the wind velocity. Again, maybe a little bit here southeast of Crossville, near Collinsville. Again, what do the colors represent? It represents what way is the wind blowing relative to the radar beam that you just saw coming around. The greens are blowing back towards the radar. The reds are blowing away from the radar. So you get this little sense here, rotation showing up, again, close to Collinsville. Again, this is using 31 triple Doppler in our live radar out of Guntersville. I'll just kind of draw this in just to illustrate what I'm talking about. The greens are blowing back towards the radar. There you see the beam. And the reds are blowing away. And this, as a meteorologist, is what we look for when we're looking at the velocity product. So it is showing up here. So we're seeing it on a couple radars. We're seeing it on our Guntersville radar, looking at the velocity out of it. And we're seeing, again, it's subtle. And in this sort of setup, it's going to be subtle. This is not, which is why in these sort of weather setups, you really have to stare at the radar. It's sometimes difficult to find these things, because it's not going to be a situation where you have a significant tornado and a significant rotating thunderstorm, and it's just going to jump out at you, and it's going to be immediately apparent. And again, this is the radar, the Net Weather Service radar out of Jackson County. Again, showing in this vicinity of Collinsville. This radar is a little bit farther away than our Gunnersville radar, so not quite the same picture, but still showing, again, perhaps a little spin here. Going to reset the view. You know, and this is one of those nights that you know, all severe weather events are different. This is one that's kind of kept us on our toes all evening. And again, reports of damage, trees down, power lines down, power outages. Not really seeing a whole lot of reports of major structural damage, although I'm sure that we will be getting more information on that as time wears on. But here's the big picture. Again, our leading edge of the storms, eastern Jackson County, kind of cutting right across, basically splitting DeKalb County in half. For our coverage area, that's it. Once you get to Etowah County and point southward, excuse me, that's out of our coverage area. So we still got a little bit longer, 10, 15 minutes, and then we're all going to get to take a breather. But again, if you are to the west, the Shoals, northwest Alabama, severe weather threats time. I-65 corridor, Huntsville, Athens, Decatur area, down to Coleman, you're done. All of the area we cover in southern Tennessee, done with severe weather. Marshall County, severe weather threats over with. Jackson County, almost. DeKalb County, give it another 15, 20 minutes. Storms are working their way into Fort Payne right now. And again, they will bring within the possibility for some damaging wind gusts, as they do. And again, monitoring for the potential for maybe a brief spin up. I'm going to step away for just a second. Another sip of water, as I had not anticipated that we would be on continuously for this long. I was going to stream all evening, but you know, sometimes that's the way these things work out. We've not had reports of any tornado touchdowns, though, so I will say that. That's a positive. And it appears a lot of what we've had damage-wise has been the result of straight-line wind. But Fort Payne, things are going downhill. Basically, the heavier storms now coming into the Fort Payne area along I-59. Again, they do extend a little south of there towards Collinsville and to the north. Got the heavier storms again coming in around Henniger, Eider, about ready to clear Jackson County. We are about to be able to wrap this up for the evening. I'm happy about that, and for those of you that are still up, that are here in the northeast corner of the state, across Sand Mountain, headed up to Lookout Mountain, I know you will be glad that we are almost done here. Looks like the tornado watch continues to be canceled. I'll take a look at that in just a second. Tornado threat has ended here, northeastern Jackson County. The area of circulation that we were monitoring has pushed out of the area, northeast there of Long Island, it would appear. So this tornado warning will go away. If it's not canceled early, it will be dropping at its expiration time. We still have our other tornado warning here. We'll say this is not looking too ominous at this point, but near Henniger, still watching east of Pisgah. Let me take a look at the wind velocity. Now, still seeing just a little bit here. Now maybe some new areas. That's why I always got to check. So near Henniger, another area. Perhaps spin here and here and north of Fort Payne. So you have to watch with these line of storms and this sort of weather setup. Brief spin-ups. When we talk about it, this is what we mean. So now here south of Henniger, in between Henniger and Fort Payne, there's actually 3 areas showing up on radar here where there could be a quick spin-up. This is near Stamp, east of Sylvania. Again, green blowing towards the radar, red's away, one area of circulation here. You head down a little south of there, same story. Green, red, little area of circulation. There's the latest update. Again, right along this whole area. I-59 north of Fort Payne. Again, these could be brief little spin-ups that are taking place here down in the valley. Going from, of course, you go off of Sand Mountain down into the valley, and then you go up Lookout Mountain. Once you get past Valley Head, going towards Mentone. And actually, from a physical point of view, you can sometimes increase the circulation when the air goes down the slope, and that may be what we're looking at here. As the storms are coming off of Sand Mountain, getting ready to go back up Lookout Mountain, the air coming down can, what we do, stretch. You get some stretching. It's like what an ice skater does. How they spin faster is they pull their arms in, and then when they actually put their arms up in the air, that's when they get their fastest spin. Well, when you have a storm and you have terrain and coming down a slope, that's essentially doing that little stretching thing. So I'm wondering if that's kind of what we're seeing here in DeKalb County. Again, coming off of Sand Mountain, down into the valley. On the flip side of it, though, when the storm starts moving up Lookout Mountain, beyond Valley Head and going towards Mentone, we may see this disappear. But again, perhaps a couple areas with a quick spin up here, just north of Fort Payne, between Fort Payne and Henniger. And again, that all lies within our tornado warned area. The other spot we continue to watch is now, looks like it's out of DeKalb County, into Cherokee County, and that is just outside of our coverage area. So good news for us, but the folks here will have to continue to watch over towards Cedar Bluff, Galesville, in that part of Cherokee County. Circulation showing up here now east of Collinsville. So again, this was our tornado warning that we had for southern DeKalb County, but it appears where we have the area rotation now east of Collinsville heading into Cherokee County. We are almost done with our area. Another report out of Rogersville. Let me get the specifics. Metal roof blown off of a barn or other structure, Lee Street in Rogersville. And you know, that can be fairly common in these wind events. You know, you never know what the structure of the building was, but again, this is a metal roof blown off of a barn. Again in Rogersville, so that's another report out of the Rogersville area. Let's see here. Let me pull up the watch, show you that it continues to be canceled for North Alabama. Marshall County taken out, Jackson County, you'll be next, and DeKalb County. Probably what we'll see once the storms have cleared DeKalb County, we'll likely get the watch canceled for both of these counties left over in northeast Alabama. All right, let's kind of reset the view here. Again, all we have left here, the extreme eastern part of our coverage area, basically DeKalb County, that's really about it. The heaviest storms are out of Jackson County. That tornado warning, northeast Jackson County, I don't know if it either expired or was canceled, but it's gone. So we just have the two left over here, but even the one there in southern DeKalb County, again, the part of the storm where we were seeing the rotations now actually into Cherokee County. So the only area that I'm continuing to watch here is north of Fort Payne. Or maybe that's what that warning still continues to basically encompass. So I mentioned we had multiple areas where there could be a little spin. North of Fort Payne, east now of Henniger. So Fort Payne, worst of the weather's moving out, severe weather threat's ending for you. If you're in Henniger, severe weather threat has ended. Still holding on here, the extreme northern and northeast corner of DeKalb County. But we are getting close to all of us being out of here. Let me take a look at the wind velocity. And again, there's still a couple areas that we're seeing here close to Valley Head. So we're still going to have to monitor this. So if you're in Valley Head, if you are towards Mentone, going up from Valley Head, you know the road there if you've been that way before, going up to Mentone, I want you in your tornado safe place just to be on the safe side. Again, there are 2, maybe 3 areas where we are seeing just a little bit of rotation along this line. One close to Valley Head, Hammondville area. Again, Fort Payne, everything is pulling away from you right now, but this is probably some strong wind that we're seeing here just outside of Fort Payne as well. So let me track this last little bit out for you through DeKalb County. Track this whole area. This is, again, either going to be some strong wind or maybe a brief little spin up. Mentone bearing down on you here in the next couple of minutes. Valley Head, again, kind of right on top of you right now. And then that's it. Then this is all going to be across the state line on the northwest Georgia. So we are close here. Again, in our coverage, I mentioned probably by 2 a.m. I think this would be a done deal, and looks like we're living up to that. Let me see what we have update-wise here. New tornado warning issued likely for what remains in DeKalb County. This is for East Central DeKalb County until 2. This is for near Fort Payne. It includes areas DeSoto State Park, Valley Head, Mentone, Hammondville, Little River Canyon. It includes that area as well. Again, as this goes up Lookout Mountain, though, it may interfere with these little areas of rotation. But this is where we're continuing to watch. There are several. Circulation south of Valley Head, right over Valley Head, and just slightly to the north. This may be kind of terrain influenced. That could certainly happen. Don't really see anything here on the debris tracker that jumps out and says that we have anything on the ground doing damage, so that's some good news. And then here's the actual radar depiction of the rainfall. Again, the worst of the activity coming through Valley Head, again going up the mountain towards Mentone. This is the Georgia border. Tornado warning has been extended beyond Alabama into northwest Georgia. Basically, it's a different National Weather Service office there, but seeing the same thing that the folks in Huntsville are and that we are on the radar. A couple areas where there could be a little brief spin up, and so that threat will likely continue on here into northwest Georgia. But I think what we're going to do, and y'all can tell me in the booth, but I think we'll just, till maybe 2 or right before, and then we're going to get you back to programming after that. Again, this is the wide view. Still holding on for a couple minutes here in DeKalb County. Otherwise, it's just rainfall. Rain has ended out here toward the shoals. Cleanup will likely be going on tomorrow. Again, with the reports of some damage around Florence, around Rogersville. Again, seeing a concentration in that part of Lauderdale County. And then just kind of sporadic reports elsewhere. Again, just kind of a recap. We've mostly gotten reports of wind damage, whether that be trees down, whether that be some power lines down. In many cases, it's the trees that fell on the power lines and caused that. And of course, that leads to power outages as well. Some individual measured reports of winds, 50, 60. The highest I saw, Huntsville International Airport at the official recording station for the city of Huntsville, 75-mile-per-hour wind gust as the storms came through southwest Madison County. So that is the highest wind that I saw out of this, and certainly when you get something that high, yeah, that's going to cause some damage, particularly when it hits a wooded area and moves on through. Again, the storms are right now along the state line, about ready to head out of DeKalb County, and then we're going to be done. Again, the tornado watch has been canceled for everyone We're continuing to watch close to Mentone. Let me just get one more look here. Still need you in your shelter if you're in Mentone. There's Fort Payne. Here's DeKalb, Cherokee County line. Still right here, northeastern corner of DeKalb County. Still some rough weather coming through. Strong wind, maybe a quick, brief tornado. But we are nearing the end of this potential. More of the tornado watch being canceled. And I will say, going up the mountain, what we were seeing here with the radar depiction, a little less defined. Still a little bit though, maybe a little circulation there north of Valley Head. And a couple areas as you head up the mountain there, Lookout Mountain, going towards Mentone. But becoming a little less defined. And again, that may be terrain influenced as the storm is going up the mountain instead of down the mountain like we were seeing before. But still at least a possibility. There's your latest update. Close to the state line. We're almost done. We're almost done. Let's see. Nothing new here. There's a couple warnings continue. Again, the ones for DeKalb County. One near Little River Falls, east of Fort Payne. That's the one warning. And the other warning for DeKalb County that remains near Eider. But again, all this is kind of right now sitting along the state line and about ready to head on into Georgia. Let me see. Again, we've gotten quite a few damage reports. Tornado watch continues to be canceled out. Show you the update on that. So other areas of North Alabama that were covered by the Birmingham National Weather Service, they've canceled the tornado watch. So still, it's done. It's done here in Jackson County. And as soon as these storms kind of clear out of DeKalb County, again, which will be happening here very, very shortly, the tornado watch is going to be dropped here for the rest of northeast Alabama. So we are nearing the end of our coverage and of the severe weather threat. This is what we have left right along the state line. Basically right here, there's Eider, there's Fort Payne. Again, we are pretty much done. So I think with that in mind, again, the tornado threats are now heading into northwest Georgia, ending here across the northeast corner of the state. There is still some rain to come. Basically I-65 eastward and some strong wind. I do want to remind you we are under wind advisory overnight through midday tomorrow. So in addition to the fact we've had the thunderstorm winds, there are going to be what we call gradient winds that will come on in and be with us for the rest of tonight and on into tomorrow morning. Not going to be the same sort of wind that we saw with the storms coming on through, but still some windy conditions will persist on into tomorrow morning. But again, the severe weather threat has ended. Strongest storm activity, threat of severe weather has now moved into northwest Georgia and out of our coverage area here in North Alabama. Still some rain that will come I-65 points eastward, but that will gradually wind down overnight tonight. So with that said, going to wind down our coverage. I appreciate you all tuning in. I hope you all made it through the storms safely. I know we have damage out there. with trees down, some power lines down, but hopefully we've kept it fairly minimal. Again, we'll be kind of assessing exactly where the worst of it has been in terms of the strong wind. But appreciate y'all sticking with us, tuning in, and y'all can go to bed now. We are done with severe weather here across North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee for tonight. Again, appreciate your trust, appreciate you tuning in, and let's not do this again anytime soon, all right? Have a great rest of the night. We're going to send you off to regular programming now.